Make a Path presents Let's Talk. I thought this was a good episode, and finally at the season finale I got that one thing I was talking to you guys about a couple episodes earlier. One thing I felt like something was missing. I got that one thing, sure enough, in the beginning of this episode. Let's talk. Better Call Saul, Season 1 Finale, Marco. Alright, and before I get to that one thing I thought was missing, I just want to say the acting's great. I feel like the acting's always great. The casting is great yet again. Even the background characters, they really feel fleshed out before they even reveal themselves to us. It's a nice reversal also having Hamlin being an okay guy. He's a decent guy. He even tells Jimmy that he always liked him. What did he call him? Charlie Hustle. And now we have brother, Dick Lawyer. Wait, no, I messed that up in the last video. Lawyer Dick. Chuck is on the outs now. You know what? I didn't think about that till now. That's actually really interesting. That's good story potential right there. Now, overcoming some of his fear of going outside, he might want to go outside now to redeem himself with his brother Jimmy. And he might not be able to do that. It just hit me. It's like, man, wouldn't that be so awesome where Chuck is fighting that, mental illness, going outside. It's interesting story potential. Yet maybe Chuck can also, and I'm talking seasons down, a couple seasons down the line, see Saul Goodman, that character, and be like, what have I done? What did I do? I helped create. In a big part, I helped create what I was always afraid. I'm not going to ramble on about that because that's probably to come further down the line, but that's very interesting. I didn't even think about that till now. That's a very interesting story dynamic right there that could play out with Chuck. But Chuck is still an interesting character. I know a lot of people don't like Chuck. I actually like the character of Chuck. I find him really interesting. That's one of the things that I think is funny because I feel like there's something missing in the story, and then the people that tell me, no, you got to hang in there, it'll pick up, it'll get better. Chuck is the one thing that they don't like. They'll be like, yeah, everything will get better, except for Chuck. Maybe, throw Chuck aside. He's one of the things that I always thought was the most interesting about Better Call Saul. It would be Saul, Mike, and Chuck. For me, that was my three, my trio. Back to the things I like, though. I want to get a couple things out of the way real quick before I get to the main thing. The humming. I noticed, I don't know if this is symbolic, but Marco hummed the song that Jimmy hummed at the outro. And I thought, for a moment, man, that's interesting because Marco hums that right before he died. Jimmy hums that symbolically before he died technically and becomes Saul Goodman. To me, I thought there was symbolism there. Let's see, we got the characters great, background characters great, story, I didn't cover this, the bingo chit chat, loved it. I always wondered, and I thought maybe he had some bad relations with Minor because they said you got to register as a sex offender. You might have to, And I thought, I was like, man, that seems like out of character for Jimmy, He's a shyster, he's a hustler, but he just doesn't fit that profile, of somebody like that. So I'm thinking, man, that seems out of character. I was real curious what it was. And I thought his bingo chit-chat / meltdown was very well done. I liked that. And I even liked the atmosphere that the reveal came in. It wasn't close, friends or family, but these are people who some are his clients for the elder care, and some are probably going to become his clients or their potential clients. So I liked the atmosphere where the meltdown happened. And the story was interesting, and it was a reveal that was always weighing on my mind. I wanted that reveal. I wanted to know what happened. And getting that reveal, it does play an important part because what happened or what he did back then sent him where he is today, 10 years later. He gets put in jail. His brother helps him get out of jail. He feels obligated to make a better life for him and himself and show his brother he can do what he promised. I will do anything you want. Just get me out of this pickle that I'm in. And that's what Jimmy did. Up until Chuck betrays him. Let me just say real quick, I did like the Kevin Costner thing. And I was like, man, that sounded familiar. I can picture Saul Goodman's face, the actor playing Saul Goodman, and Kevin Costner. I knew there was something else there. I'm like, man, did they use that Kevin Costner line before? And then somebody on Twitter put up a image of him and Walter White in the car saying, I used the Kevin Costner line on a chick once. And I'm like, oh shit, you know, that had to have been it. The bingo chit chat and the Chuck thing, that actually connects to the one thing I thought was actually missing. In my head, I tried to justify having that scene in the season finale. And you can justify it. You definitely can. To me personally, me as the viewer, I can't justify it. The opening scene with Jimmy and Marco at the bar, and Jimmy says, listen, Chuck got me out of this. I have to go with Chuck and make this right. I gotta do better for me. You know, I gotta do this for Chuck and everything like that. That's something that I personally needed to see in the very beginning, so I can go on this journey with Jimmy, and then I know where he's going. I know what he wants, I know what he's trying to get. And I know we can argue that, yeah, that's something that you should already know, you should already get. But then I can argue with, well, you know what? We know him as Saul Goodman, as being a hustler, as being somebody who's usually full of shit. So this whole time I'm trying to figure out, you know, is he genuine? Is he honest? Is he honestly trying to do the right thing, the good thing? You know, he's a little bit of a hustler. We all know that. So what's his angle? And here he was trying to actually do the right thing. If you think about it, he was really fighting all of his demons. He was fighting pretty hard, you know, to do the right thing. For a hustler like that, for a swindler, that was probably a really tough 10 years for him. It's pointless to say how it should have been, but for me, it just, the way it was broken up and the way it was given to us, I'm sure it was good for a lot of you. To me, parts were missing. And again, I don't say this lightly. I have a lot of respect for the creative team behind Better Call Saul. Just for me, and I'm sure there's a few out there who agree, it was off for you, you know, and I'm sure there's a bunch of you out there who loved it just the way it was. And that's absolutely fine. If you loved it just the way it was, or you thought something just was not right and it didn't click for you, and that was it, maybe it's something different. That's absolutely fine as well. We're all entitled to our opinions. But that's the thing that was bugging me, especially the past few episodes. It got to the point where I brought it up, 3 episodes ago in a review? I said something's missing for me. I don't have what Jimmy's going for. It's lost for me. I need to know what is his goal, where's he going with this, and we got it finally, and it makes a lot of sense now that the past 10 years, Jimmy has tried his hardest to do good for his brother because he made a promise. But in the end, Chuck, Lawyer Dick, I keep messing that up, Lawyer Dick, who's Chuck now, he betrayed Jimmy. So those 10 years is gone. So he goes back to Chicago, links back up with Marco, and has this weekend of, no, I think it was a whole week of hustling people. But he has this whole week of hustling people, and he comes back, and he's kind of reborn. He's like, you know what? No. He tells Mike, he's like, whatever stopped me before, it's not going to stop me ever again. Which brings me up to Season 2. Season 2, I was actually really excited for Season 1. I was real excited. Halfway through, I'm not even going to lie to you, I'll be totally honest. Halfway through, I started having a little doubt. 7 episodes through, I was having a lot more doubt. I came to you guys with something missing. Now, it clinched it for me. The season finale, even though there was no explosions, there was no huge plot twists, I don't know, there was nothing that was to an extreme. You know, it was so calm. It was probably the calmest season finale I've ever seen of any show that I was interested in. I'll have to tell you that. But it did it for me. I am more excited for Season 2 than I was for Season 1. I said this before, the characters, atmosphere, the writing, it all interests me. But that missing piece that was missing for me, I got that now. And I am very excited for Season 2 of Better Call Saul. So that's enough of me going on and on. I'm actually really curious to see what you guys have to say. And I promise you, I say that in every video, but I actually mean it. I do want to hear what you guys thought of this episode, especially with the season finale being so calm and it being a season finale. Again, I'm rambling. Let me know what you thought about the Season 1 finale of Better Call Saul. Down in the comments below. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe now.